Good evening, I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out, spotlighting the New Orleans area's arts and entertainment scene. And seated at our table tonight, Martin Schmidt, chapter president of the Mardi Gras Chorus. Hey, Martin.
Hey, Peggy,
and
how
you
are
brought along a quartet who we'll hear a little later.
We sure did, and y'all really going to be surprised at the sound.
We're looking forward to it. Glad that you're here. And of course, Poppy Tooker, host of the weekly program Louisiana Eats on WWNO Radio. Hey, Miss Poppy.
Hey, Peg.
Hi there. Brian Morgan, who covers the local classical music scene for us. Hey, Mr. Brian.
Hi, Peggy.
Hello. And theater critic Alan Smason, editor of the online Crescent City Jewish News. Poppy, so much going on.
Oh, it's really fun stuff this weekend. So first of all, can you believe they've been having a Melatonin Festival down in the Bywater for 24 years?
Jeez.
Hard to believe. It's tomorrow, 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. There's a $5 admission. It's in a new place. It's at the Brickyard, which is right on the river down there on Charter Street. And about the Melatonin, you know, I'd like to say a few words about that lowly squash, because it is a squash. And aside from stuffing it and eating it in casseroles like we're accustomed to, you can boil it, mash it, bake it, fry it. You can either pickle it even. You can make it into breads like you do with zucchini. You can add it to pies. You can eat it raw. Some people eat the plant's young leaves with the shoots, and
really?
Even the roots are edible. It's kind of like a potato. And the really great thing tomorrow, aside from there's going to be music and there's going to be food and all the usual fun, but there is a big enough heirloom melatonin crop this year. So the Melatonin savior, Dr. Lance Hill, is going to be out there selling heirloom plants.
Oh.
So you can actually grow your own. And he is just a really fascinating guy. So don't miss it. It's really fun. The food's delicious. The music is great. I understand all sorts of jazz bands like the Tumbling Dice are going to be out there tomorrow,
really
I
grown.
think.
It is really grown.
Yeah. And of course, those pictures are from the old site, but go to the Brickyard tomorrow. Then I went on an adventure, Peggy. You know, I'm adventuring a lot these days. And on Sunday, I had the most divine time. And I think for a lot of people, it's a secret. The Toot Sweet Coffee House and Cafe on 347 Verrett Street in Old Algiers. Have you ever been there, Peg?
You know, once, but it is a well-kept secret.
I don't know
You're
how
right.
in the world you only went once, because I went once and I can't wait to go back. They are open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. Everything there is made fresh, healthy, exquisite baked goods. They actually have live music there every Saturday and Sunday mornings. And I just wanted to give you all a taste of what you can eat there. The chaffalaya, crawfish etouffee, 2 fried eggs, and stone ground grits. Wow. If you want a light breakfast, how about Bermuda triangles? That would be whole wheat toast points covered with house-made, cool, creamy avocado spread, crumbled feta, thinly sliced cucumber, and tomato. Then, of course, they continue serving through lunch. So how about, and they entitle it on the menu, sexy salads and panini. So if it was me, I'd go for a Caesar. I guess that's like a Caesar. It's an avocado Caesar salad, topped with multigrain croutons, Parmesan Reggiano. That's $8. And for an extra $4, you can add a chicken breast to your Caesar. So, whew.
I'm long overdue for a return, though.
That sounds like serious fun, doesn't it? Okay, and then, I know it's early to talk about Thanksgiving, but a New Orleans tradition, Thanksgiving at Tujague's, it's never too early to make your reservations because it's filling up already. So if you're hoping to go, what a blessing we get to go to Tujague's for Thanksgiving again this year. And it's 5 courses for $45.99. That's going to include a shrimp remoulade salad, soup, the brisket appetizer, roast turkey with oyster dressing, cranberry sauce and candied yams, and bread pudding for dessert, coffee, tea. It's going to be great. Have a grasshopper afterwards. Celebrate. If you're not eating at home, go to Tujague's.
Absolutely. Thank you, Poppy. And it's great because it's been not renovated, freshened up. It looks wonderful.
Yes, the old girl got a facelift.
Yes,
and
she
by
looked
the way,
great before, but she looks even better.
If you ever wanted to be in a book, just come on down to Tujague's for Christmas, Thanksgiving, or New Year's Eve, because we'll be shooting pictures for the Tujague's
great,
book.
for the cookbook. All right, wonderful. Thank you. And we turn to Brian, the New Orleans Opera Association, but this time in a different venue.
Yes, because of the work that they're they're doing. This month is the centennial of the birth of the British composer Benjamin Britten. He's probably the foremost English composer of the 20th century. He died at a relatively young age in 1976. Well, we've never had a staged Britten piece in New Orleans except for during the World's Fair, when the English National Opera came here and did his Gloriana, which was composed for the coronation of Elizabeth II, and it's about Elizabeth I. And that was very memorable. I remember it very well. Well, finally, we're getting to New Orleans Opera doing one of his pieces, and it's Noah's Flood, which is a musical setting of a mystery play of the Middle Ages. And then the mystery plays were sort of precursors of opera, and there were stage works. I did one of them, an operatic setting of Everyman by a local composer, Louise Labriere, many years ago. They were intended to be staged in a church. So it's going to be at Trinity Episcopal Church on Jackson Avenue in the next, starting November 15th. And it's a fascinating work. It's the ancient text with modern music, but it's quite accessible music. Norman Robinson of Channel 6 is going to be the voice of God in this. It's
he's got a good voice.
Non-singing voice. Yeah,
Believable.
It's a non-singing part, that's right. And it's basically a piece written for children to perform, not just to see, but to perform. And so children from dozens of local schools are going to be involved in this. So I think it's going to really be special. I'm hoping that it's going to encourage the opera to present one of Britain's real operas, Peter Grimes, Owen Wingrave, my personal favorite, Death in Venice. I've also been encouraging for years the JPAS to do his Turn of the Screw, which is also a ghost story by Henry James. So let's hope. We need to start examining the 20th century aside from Puccini and Strauss.
Well, my question, is he perhaps less accessible, or he's just not Puccini or Verdi?
I think that's it. I think he's quite accessible. It's just a matter New Orleans hasn't given him a chance, I believe. Many years ago, I tried to stage the Turn of the Screw, but cast members left, and so it collapsed. But I think it's really time for us to really start examining Benjamin Britten and America's answer to Britten, Carlisle Floyd. We've not done, the New Orleans Opera's not done a Carlisle Floyd piece since 1966. So, and he has an enormous range of operas as well. So let's hope that this is the...
All the King's Men. Carlisle Floyd.
The version is Willie Stark, that's right.
Willie Stark,
That would be a perfect opera for here.
Yeah, all right, well, good. Thank you very much, Brian. And we turn to Martin. And Martin, I know you, you wear many hats, okay, because you're also a member of the Jefferson City Buzzards.
Yes, I am. I've been a member for 40 years.
40 years, all right.
We have a great time on Mardi Gras Day, but that's not all why we're here. We happen to call ourselves, what we're here for, is the Mardi Gras Chorus. So it all ties into Mardi Gras. And we're having our big show tomorrow. It's at 3 o'clock. At the Baptist Seminary on Gentilly Boulevard, a beautiful setting, secure parking, all free, and we charge a minor $15 for a tremendous show. It's going to include a chorus and several of our quartets, and one of the quartets we brought here with us today to sing.
I know we're going to hear them in just a moment, but let's talk about the Mardi Gras Chorus. How long has it been around?
Yeah, well, the Mardi Gras Chorus is part of the greater chapter of the Barbershop Harmony Society, and it was formed in 1938 as a society to protect and preserve barbershop quartet harmony singing, which is all a cappella, of course. Our local chapter has been around for 50 years.
Wow.
And we sing all over the city at various activities. We even sing for Chocolate Sunday.
That's right.
You might have seen us a couple of times there.
Well, and I know that the gentlemen come from all walks of life.
Yes, they do.
Sort of doctors, lawyers, Indian chiefs, which is just great. I know that Mr. Calvin Morat,
that's correct,
a longtime gentleman around here, and Tom Fitzmaurice are among your many, many members. But if you will, please introduce us to, in just a moment, to some of the folks who are here tonight. We want to see them and get to visit with them. Can you identify them for us?
Yes, I can. On your far right is our tenor, Mr. Hanson
Raise your
Estee.
hands, gentlemen. Okay.
Our lead singer, who sings the melody, is Mr. Johnny Ufneck. Our bass singer, of course, is Carl Hansen. And, of course, our baritone, Mr. Joe Jacquot. The Southern Tradition Quartet.
Okay, and what are you all going to be performing for us, gentlemen?
They're going to sing for us Happy Days and Alexander's Ragtime Band.
All right, take it away.
It's a happy day and I'm here to stay. Happy days are here again, the skies above are clear again. Let us sing a song of cheer again. Happy days are here again. All together shout it now, there's no one who can doubt it now. So let's tell the world about it now. Happy days are here again. Your cares and troubles are gone, there'll be no more from now on. Let's hear it all together, shout it now. There's no one who can doubt it now. So let's tell the world about it now. Happy days are here again. Tell the world about those happy days. Happy days are here once again. Coming down the street, looking so neat, it's Alexander's Ragtime Band. Come on and hear, come here, come on and hear Alexander's Ragtime Band. Come on and hear, come here, come on and hear. It's the best band in the land. They can play a bugle call like you'd never heard before, so natural that you want to go to war. That's just the bestest band, what and honey lamb. Come on along, come on along, come on along, and let me take you by the hand. Up to the man, to the man, to the man, to the man who's the leader of the band. And if you care to hear that Swanee River played in ragtime, come on and hear, come on and hear, come on and hear, come here, Alexander's Ragtime. Listen to the beat as they're coming down the street. My, don't they look neat? Hear that music, ain't it grand? It's Alexander's Ragtime. Come and hear them play, see them swing and sway that ragtime band. Ragtime band.
Wow. And once again, for details, go to MardiGrasChorus.com. But tomorrow afternoon, looking forward to
have
it.
the big show tomorrow, and you're going to hear much more from the quartets, also a Sweet Adelines quartet, as well as the entire men's chorus.
Okay, thank you so much, Martin.
Sure.
And we look forward to hearing from them a little bit later.
That's
Great.
right.
And we turn to the Age of Aquarius.
Yes, indeed. It reminds me the Buffalo Bills, if you remember from The Music Man, Light a Rose, and all those wonderful songs. Yeah, the Hair musical, everybody knows that. Jerome Ragney and James Ratto and Galt McDermott, probably one of the most famous musicals from the 60s, those of us who remember the 60s, that is. Hair, Let the Sun Shine In, The Flesh Eaters, Easy to Be Hard. It's all going to be happening starting this weekend at Le Petit Theater. This is the very first musical that Le Petit is having at their newly renovated quarters. So we wanted to remind everybody that that's going to be on tap now. And then next week, I understand that they're going to be here on this very show that we'll have the director and several of the cast members. So we're looking forward to that. I'll have a review in probably 2 weeks because they'll be here next week. So again, get your tickets for that. But meanwhile, something else. Harvey, playing now at the Rivertown Theaters. There's a good reason that Mary Chase's Harvey, that was written 69 years ago, was brought back to Broadway for Jim Parsons about a year ago. And the reason is that the script really holds up very well. It's cleverly written. It won the Pulitzer Prize for Drama back in 1945. And our own Ricky Graham, the comic prince of New Orleans, is playing the role of Elwood P. Dowd. That, of course, is the gentleman who is seemingly a little bit daft. He is playing really to his inner child here. And I think it's a role that Ricky plays very, very well. His sweet nature as a lovable lush who's incapable of harboring ill will towards any man. And it's probable that the success is found in Graham's own impeccable comic timing that really must one suspect that is also part of Gary Rucker's vision as the director of this project. Harvey could readily be explained as the product of an overactive imagination or an impaired mind. But is this puka the result of one too many pours from the end of a dipsomaniac's bottle, or an illusion manufactured by a madman? The magic of the play is that we know Harvey, that invisible 6'1" puka, appears as a giant rabbit. He's as real to Elwood as the doorknob on his front door. Elwood respects Harvey as a devoted friend, but we can't help but liken their friendship to that of a toddler and his imaginary playmate. Elwood's two relatives, his sister Vita Louise, portrayed by Helen Blank there, and his niece, played by Emily Fortunato, who, of course, they basically represent the length and breadth of experience in the cast. Blank has been treading the boards of local theater for the past 45 years, while Fortunato is a senior at Tulane University working on her bachelor's degree in fine arts. Other people in Harvey are Jimmy DeMontleson, who plays Wilson, the rough and tumble orderly. This is, I believe, the third time that he's playing this role. And of course, Butch Care plays Dr. Chumley. Again, a play that would be over with as soon as Elwood enters the sanatorium if it wasn't for the fact that this play teaches us that we should not be so quick to categorize people as crazy, because we refuse to consider the fact that their reality might have more validity than our own. So other notable supporting cast members include Cheney Toulos as Dr. Sanderson, Shelley Rucker as Nurse Kelly, and Catherine Mariscott as Chumley's wife, Kevin Cannon as the family friend Judge Omar Gaffney, and Donald Lewis makes a short appearance, unfortunately, in Act 2. I really would love to have seen more of him as the taxi driver. Harvey's recommended also for wonderful costumes by Cecile Casey Covert, a marvelous set designed by David Raffel, and great lighting from Eric Porter and Theo Fogelman. It plays now through the 16th at Rivertown Theaters. Check that out. Also playing now at the Loyola University Marquette Hall is The Merchant of Venice. This is a play I had an opportunity to see last night. It's a production of William Shakespeare's Merchant of Venice set in fascist Italy. This is the vision of Laura Hope, the person on the staff there who's one of the doctors on staff, if you will, the faculty. She has reimagined this with a number of women playing the parts of men. And you know, of course, in Shakespeare, that happens a lot. But this actually occurs a lot because this particular play has so many roles set just for men that a number of ladies are playing the roles of the men. And for the most part, this play succeeds. Akeem Biggs plays Shylock. He's an Ethiopian Jewish refugee. He lives in the Jewish ghetto, of course. Leandra Garcia plays his daughter, Jessica. Ryan Williams as Bassanio and Dylan Tozan as Graciano work well with Sam Morrell, who plays their friend Antonio. That's the merchant, of course, who must surrender a pound of his flesh to Shylock in exchange for his bond. Alexandra Kennan and Natalie Kistinian are quite nice as Portia and Nerissa, too. I recommend you getting to check it out. It's a nice student production, and not necessarily the best production of this, but the most interesting I've seen so far this year. The final shows of Merchant of Venice will be seen this weekend. Also coming up starting on Wednesday, Pride and Prejudice, Southern Repertory's first incursion at a new venue for them, Ursuline Academy. This is going to be at 3625 State Street. And I don't think there are very few people out there who are not familiar with the Jane Austen story of Pride and Prejudice that's set in pre-Victorian England. Southern Repertory is presenting this as part of a work that has been actually written by John Jory, who's a very famous director and artistic director, if you will, also of the Louisville Actors Theater. He actually worked with Aimee Hayes, who's one of the co-directors. Aimee and Jeffrey Gonchol are the co-directors on this project. It stars Ashley Record Santos in the role of Elizabeth, and Michael Stone is the affected Mr. Darcy. And I have to tell you, Michael Stone is a fairly famous name in New Orleans theater. He is, of course, the son of David Stone, the very well-known and liked, admired.
And missed.
Absolutely. Gilbert and Sullivan, of course. He had so many different roles that he did. And I think he did Love Letters with Nell Nolan several times. So again, this is the continuation of a theater family. And again, it's starting out the 13th. It'll run through the 23rd at Ursuline Academy. And again, parking on the campus for Ursuline will cost some money. So I don't know exactly what, but you can park on the street for free. And not to diminish anything further, but Broadway is going to be here in all of its splendor at NOCA this coming next Saturday night. Probably other than Bernadette Peters, the only genuine queen of Broadway that I would say right now exists is the two-time Tony winner Patti LuPone. She won her first Tony as Evita, of course, back in 1979, won her second Tony in 2008 as Mama Rose in the most recent revival of Gypsy. She was the original Fantine in the London cast of Les Miserables, and she also received an Olivier Award for The Cradle Will Rock and Les Miserables. She's played iconic roles like Norma Desmond in Sunset Boulevard, Annie Oakley in Annie Get Your Gun, and Reno Sweeney in Anything Goes. Those of you who saw her last year in the two shows she did at NOCA know how great she is. Seth Rudetsky will be back on the keyboards. He will also be interviewing her, and she's got some wonderful tales to story. Brian, I had no no idea until she spoke that her great aunt was the famous Adelina Patti, for whom she was known for,
right,
you know, here in New Orleans, and that she was actually
Oh.
named for Adelina Patti. That's her great
Which we
aunt.
said Patti Court still stands in the French Quarter on Royal Street, in fact, where she lived.
So who would have thought
Jeez.
that?
And I just hope folks realize what an incredible deal it is
Yes.
to be able to be in New Orleans to go see Patti LuPone.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a
and
real
now
star.
she's filming what?
I think
Horror Story,
American Horror Story is
so
part
we're
of the.
so
Yeah.
fortunate. She's
So
here.
and maybe we hope that maybe Mark Cortali, who's the producer of this series of NOCA shows, you know, they've already had this year. They have Christine Ebersol coming up, but they've already had the show with last year Megan Healthy in the summertime, and they've had so many other things that are going on. Jane Kreskowski was recently here. We have a beautiful opportunity there to see some great Broadway talent.
Okay, thank you very much. And now it's time for our Artist Spotlight. Tonight we are featuring two pieces. The first is Morena by Honduran native, now New Orleans resident, Javier Rodriguez. The second is Post Mardi Gras Magnolia by New Orleans artist Terrence Osborne. Both will be auctioned off tomorrow evening at the International School of Louisiana's 10th Annual Refrigerator Art Auction and Gala. The patron party starts at 6 p.m. and the gala at 7 p.m. at the Louisiana Children's Museum. And of course, that's on Julia Street. Tickets are $60 each, $100 for two, or $125 for the patron party. Visit isl/edu.org for more information. And a reminder that you can check out Steppin Out's online calendar. That's at WIS.org. New Orleans Magazine's quiz queen, Julia Street, has a question for us. Last time, Cheryl Jackson gave us the names of a former voodoo queen who was buried in St. Louis No. 1 Cemetery and a tomb at Metairie Cemetery associated with a Storyville madam, Marie Laveau and Josie Arlington. Now, tonight's question. Of two area Mississippi River bridges, one was named after a former governor and the other after a song written by a former governor. Okay, name the bridges. Send your answers to steppinout@WYES.org. Our prizes: a Louisiana Life magazine subscription, a gift certificate for Vianne's Tea House, offering their culinary and gourmet tea experience for two, and a copy of the book Statuesque New Orleans by Ashley Merlin. We also have tonight staffer Steve Goliambusky, and he is showcasing two dish towels. And let me tell you what the messages are. We all live in a yellow butter bean and Obi-Wan cannoli. And of course, that's wearablevegetables.com. You can check out that. Always very, very clever, that Gay Sperling. We really appreciate that. So once again, wearablevegetables.com. And now our picks. Poppy.
Well, it's book signing time again. So
What a concept.
all my friends on the North Shore will be able to come and see me at the Covington Market tomorrow from 9:30 until noon, and then catch me at Barnes & Noble's from 2 until 4 in Mandeville.
All right, Martin.
We're having our big show tomorrow, the 9th of November at 3 p.m. So you can come early, enjoy that, and enjoy all these other things at night.
And you have some Veterans Day
We have
activities coming up.
Veterans Day. We're going to be singing at Applebee's restaurant and for a big celebration for them in West Esplanade and Kenner.
Okay.
So we're going to be doing that, and also we have several things coming up with Sipping with Santa in Kenner at Chateau
go to the
Country Club.
website, maybe go to the website, you'll have
MardiGrasChorus.com.
Okay.
And you can
Very
see
good.
everything we have
and
going
you were
on.
saying that a lot of your members are veterans. God
In
bless.
fact, more than half of them have served in World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and thank God they're back.
Yeah, thank you. Alan.
And speaking of Veterans Day, honoring our heroes, the National World War II Museum is presenting at the U.S. Freedom Pavilion pianist Jeffrey Beagle in a world premiere of Dreams of the Fallen with the Louisiana Philharmonic Orchestra and their Symphony Orchestra Chorus. It's also going to feature John Goodman, who's going to be narrating Copeland's Lincoln Portrait. So it should be great. That's, again, Monday at 7 p.m. at the World War II Museum. I think the tickets are about $45.
All right, Brian.
And speaking of Benjamin Britten, the Louisiana Philharmonic Orchestra is presenting a Britten Centennial celebration on November 22nd, which also includes our wonderful symphony chorus.
All right, very good. And before my picks, just a few final scenes from Halloween. Witches and fairies and cartoon action heroes, still pretty popular this year. Lots of trick-or-treaters. And look how cute they are. They are so darling. I'm so glad the folks are still trick-or-treating. And here here is the Hinyap family as characters. Aislinn, who works with us here at WIS, and her whole family, characters from Snow White. They looked fantastic. Wow. And now my picks. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. at the Ogden, a panel and book signing concerning a history of making New Orleans products, past and present, and that's by Philip Collier. Among the panel members, they look at this incredible book. If you remember Missing New Orleans from a few years ago, Philip's at it again with some great images inside. We'll be talking more about it in the coming weeks. We have our own Errol Laborde, who'll be on the panel, and historian John McGill, among others. And on Wednesday, a free concert of favorite opera music by our friends, the group Bon Operati, and they're at the Four Points Hotel at Bourbon in Toulouse, the site of the old Opera House. And then looking ahead to Friday, November the 22nd, explore literary and historical New Orleans with a spiked scavenger hunt through the one-of-a-kind bookstores and literary landmarks of the French Quarter. And the event is called Books and Booze, and there will be prizes and all kinds of fun. So go to TennesseeWilliams.net for more details, and proceeds actually help the Tennessee Williams New Orleans Literary Festival. And so next week, by the way, as we said, the director and cast members from Le Petit's Hair will be with us. But now it is time to hear more from the Southern Tradition Quartet. Thank you all for watching, and good night.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world, wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry.